Hello, welcome to this lesson, which is lesson 6 from level 1. Sorry, that's what I'm doing there. So we're going to look at, I think as I mentioned in the last lesson, the second half of the book is kind of a bit more technical technique stuff, because we've kind of learnt the grooves and the fills and everything about the drum kit so far. So what we're going to do in lesson 6, we're going to learn about ghost notes and accented notes to get more kind of interesting sounding playing. So let's just talk about what they are first of all. So a ghost note is a quiet hit. So this is all about stick height mostly. So ghost notes, you're going to have the stick a couple of centimeters above the drum. Okay, we're just doing gentle taps like that. Okay, now if you're playing on an acoustic kit, even if you come up this far, it's going to have a massive effect on the sound. So your ghosts want to be really, really quiet. I tend to play them towards the edge of the drum as well. This is a little bit quieter there rather than in the middle. Okay, what you got to watch out for is that you don't end up with your fingers on top of your stick and you're kind of doing this. Okay, so it's the normal grip, normal way of hitting. So I would just practice just your ghost notes first, because as you're playing quietly, I'm playing fast quietly. Okay, it does take quite a bit of practice. So here's the time to sort of practice your single stroke roll, building your speed up, but play it as ghost notes. Okay, so maintain that stick height really close to the drum. An accented note is a louder hit. So for this, we want more stick height. Now, you don't need to kind of come up with your arm and do this. It's kind of like cracking a whip. It's sort of like really whipping the stick down. Like that. That on an acoustic drum is going to be ridiculously loud. If I do it in slow motion, you're kind of coming up, letting your stick drop, and then kind of whipping it down like that. And the last minute, I'm kind of squeezing my fingers. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. But it's that kind of motion. Because what we want to often do, or a lot of the time, is we want to do an accented note, but then get the stick to stop in the ghost note position. So we're trying to stop it from bouncing back up like that. So we're kind of snapping it down, snapping your fingers shut around it a second after it's hit, and getting that accented note. Okay, so you're probably thinking, okay, great, why? What's the point of accented notes and ghost notes? Well, we can kind of get more interesting sounding rhythms and sort of filling gaps between accented notes and so on. If I play all 16ths at the same volume, it's going to sound like this. Now if I do the same thing and mix together ghost notes and accented notes, we're going to get this. Whoa, hit the microphone stand at the end there. Okay, so hopefully you can kind of hear the difference in volume and the sort of rhythms in that. What I'm basically playing, the accented notes are this. And then what's happening, the ghost notes are just kind of filling in the background. So it's almost like you've got two drummers playing, one person doing this, and then this over the top. I've hit the microphone again, I'm sorry. So that's the technique behind it. So what I would do first of all is just kind of get used to your stick heights for your accents and your ghost notes, and then we've got a few exercises that we can play in here. What I'm actually going to skip over this first bit. I'm going to just go down to exercise 5. We'll just do these as sort of separate little exercises, because I realised I forgot to put the brackets around the notes for the ghost notes on the first bit. So let's just have a look at this one. So a ghost note is written with brackets around it. So these are the quiet ones. Okay, so you can see these are the ghost notes. The sign for an accent is an upside down V or a sideways V, like that. Okay, generally that's the most common way of doing it. Okay, so a sideways V above the note. You can also have it that way around. For some reason I did it that way around and not above the note, but it can be above or below the note. Like I say, generally it's that way round. Okay, so you want to think of it that way. So what we're going to do for this first one is we are going to be accenting on the first beat. Sorry, we're going to accent on the first 16th note of each beat. So if you're thinking of one eander, two eander, it's on the 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's 1, 2. Now, generally what I would do for this is I would count it 1, 2, 3, 4 for now. Okay, so we're going to do 4 lots of 4, and we're going to make it loud on the 1. The way I count it is I'll make my voice louder on the 1. I'm going to accent on the 1 in this instance, and then the 2, 3, 4 will be quiet. So I would be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, practice that slowly, and then as you get comfortable with that, gradually speed up, making sure we keep in the same volume. Okay, so you've got to watch out for those ghost notes that they don't all end up loud like that. Okay, so that's your first exercise to practice. What we're then going to do is just going to move the accent along 1/16th note each time. So for this one, we're going to put it on the second 16th note. So it's on the E if we count in 16th notes. It's on number 2 if we count in 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is going to be on your weaker hand. Okay, so if you're right-handed, it's going to fall on your left hand. If it's your left hand, if you're left-handed, it's going to fall on your right hand. So we want to always start these. If you're right-handed, always lead with your right hand. So right, left, right, left. If you're left-handed, lead with your left hand, left, right, left, right. So for this one, we're going to start with the right hand. So it's going to start with a ghost note, and it's going to be loud on the 2. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Third one, we're going to move it along to number 3. So we're back on the right hand now. So this one's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the last one. No prizes for guessing where this one's going to be. It's going to be on the last 16th note. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So what I would do is practice those individually. That is basically what's on the first 4 exercises. Okay, so you can read through these. This just sort of explains what I've just done. Like I say, the only reason I didn't want to go through that now is because I forgot to put the brackets on the notes. But you can see where the accented notes are. Practice those all individually. And then you're going to kind of put it all together on this one, which is one I've just been through. So once you're comfortable playing each one individually, try and go through the whole thing without stopping. So you would go like this. In fact, what I'm going to do is, I'll do it with a metronome. So you can hear where the beat is, because you'll hear that accent gradually moving away from the beat, because it's going to be on the beat, then it's going to be the 16th note after it, and then 2 after it, and then 3 after it. Okay, and then I've gone back to the beginning there. So what's going to happen if you loop that round, when you're going to get 2 accents together, because you've got a loud on at the end here on the last 16th note, and then on the first one here. So that would be like 4E and 1E and 2. Okay, so that's a good way of practicing that. Again, start to build your speed up on that. The other way then is to take it down just to 1 bar. So rather than playing all the way through each one like this, play down the page. So you'll play this one on beat 1, this one on beat 2, this one on beat 3, this one on beat 4, which would sound like this. Okay, let's just zoom in on the screen a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Terrible timing on that one, but hopefully you get the idea. Okay, so that you could then start to kind of build that in as a drum fill, because we've got 1 bar there. So if we played that as a drum fill, it would sound something like this. What we could then do is move the accented notes onto the toms. So your accents that fall on your right hand, which is this line, if we go down the page, do the whole exercise. So this line and this line, you would put the accented notes on the low tom, and all the ghost notes would stay on the snare drum. So this first one would go like this. So it would be 1. Okay, the third one would go. Okay, and then your left-handed accents would go up on the high tom. So this one, second one would be 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last one down the bottom would be on the 4. Okay, so if we put all that together, all the way through playing it on the toms, would go like this. And so on. Again, practice all that way individually, practice putting it together, gradually build your speed up. What you can then do is take that down to 1 bar as we did with the snare drum. So if we played down the page, it would sound like this. Play that as a drum groove, a drum groove and a fill. Okay, so you can start to develop that on into drum fills as well. It's also very easy just to make your own up of these. So what we could do is, if you just like write out, you don't need to write out notes and be all fancy with that. If you just write out 4 groups of 4, so like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just randomly put accents on different notes, which I can't. Can I do that on here? Let's have a look. What does this do? Okay, so I'm just going to pick these at random. I'm going to do an accent on that one and that one. I'm going to do 1 on there. I'm going to do 2 on this one. So I'm picking these totally at random. I will do 2 together on that one and that one. Okay, so that's now going to go. Okay, so you got yourself a new drum fill there. Play that on the toms. You get that, okay? So, yeah, you just kind of like randomly pick them at random. Let's just try another one. So let's say for this one, I'm going to accent that note. That note, I'm going to do 1 on those 2, and I'm going to do 2 on these. I'll do that one and that one. And let's do that one and that one. So on the toms, oh, there's a message saying I've got some coffee ready. We'll get that in a minute. Let's just try that one again. Okay, so you can't go wrong with those. They're really cool. It's quite a good little kind of fill generation thing. You don't necessarily need to have to play it as ghost notes. Just, you know, just kind of go in between the toms, and you can incorporate the middle tom as well, and so on. Okay, so hopefully that's enough to keep you going for that lesson. Lots of things you can practice with your accents, but take it very steadily. Obviously, it takes a lot of practice to get up to, playing them really fast. Start it slow, build your speed up, keep practicing them, and you'll be fine, and then you can do loads and loads of cool stuff with them. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Cheers.